Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the amazing world of dogs and their unique abilities. Today, we have a truly special topic that will leave you in awe. Get ready to witness the incredible bond between humans and their furry companions, as we dive into unleashing the power of communication, a guide to training a deaf dog. Tips for training deaf dogs. Training a deaf dog requires some modifications to accommodate their specific needs. Here are some tips to help you train a deaf dog effectively. Teach that touch is good. Since deaf dogs cannot hear when you call them, it's important to train them that touch is a positive and attention-seeking behavior. Treat the touch command as you would any other behavior you want to train. Decide where you will touch your dog to signal that you want their attention, such as the shoulder or rump. Pair the touch with positive reinforcement, such as treats or praise, so that your dog understands that you want their attention when you tap them in that specific spot. Use a single or double tap, avoiding repetitive tapping that may be perceived as nagging or annoying for the dog. If desired, you can also train your dog to turn their head to the side you are tapping by reinforcing the behavior when they turn in that direction. Visual signals and hand gestures. Since deaf dogs rely on visual cues, it's important to incorporate visual signals and hand gestures into your training sessions. These visual cues can help your dog understand and respond to commands. Use clear and distinct hand gestures for different commands, such as a raised hand for sit or a sweeping motion for come. Consistency is key when using visual signals, so make sure to use the same gestures for the same commands every time. Use positive reinforcement, such as treats or toys, to reward your dog for correctly responding to the visual cues. Use vibrations and flashing lights. In addition to touch and visual signals, you can also utilize other sensory cues like vibrations and flashing lights to communicate with your deaf dog. For example, you can use a vibrating collar or a handheld vibrating device to get your dog's attention or signal a command. You can also use a flashlight or a light-up device to capture your dog's attention and communicate with them. Consider training classes or professional help. If you're unsure about how to train a deaf dog or need additional guidance, consider enrolling in training classes specifically designed for deaf dogs or seeking help from a professional dog trainer experienced in working with deaf dogs. They can provide personalized guidance and support to ensure effective training. Remember, training a deaf dog may require extra time, patience, and creativity, but with consistent training and positive reinforcement, they can learn and thrive just like any other dog. Teach a check-in behavior for deaf dogs. Teaching a check-in behavior is particularly important for deaf dogs, as they rely on visual cues to communicate and may not be able to hear potential dangers or warnings from other dogs. Here are some steps to teach a check-in behavior to your deaf dog. Reward eye contact. Start by rewarding your dog every time they look at you. In a controlled environment, allow your dog to choose to look at you, and when they do, use a hand flash or physical click to mark the behavior and give them a reward. This reinforces the association between looking at you and receiving a reward. Progress to distracting environments. Once your dog is consistently looking at you in a controlled environment, you can gradually introduce more distractions. However, it's important to use a leash and harness during this phase to ensure your dog's safety. Continue to reward your dog for checking in with you in these more challenging environments. Add a signal. Once your dog is reliably looking at you, you can start adding a visual signal to indicate what you want them to do next. For example, you can use a hand gesture to signal them to come closer, investigate something, or perform a specific action. Be consistent with your signals and reinforce the desired behavior with rewards. Remember to be patient and consistent in your training. Deaf dogs can still learn and respond to visual cues, so take the time to establish a strong foundation of communication with your dog. Positive reinforcement techniques, such as rewards and praise, are effective and help strengthen the bond between you and your dog. Tips for training a deaf dog to settle. Training a deaf dog to settle can be a helpful skill to ensure their safety and prevent conflicts with other dogs. Here are some tips for training a deaf dog to settle. Choose a designated spot. Select a specific spot, such as a bed, towel, or platform, where you want your dog to settle. This will provide them with a consistent cue to relax and stay in one place. Start with small steps. Begin by rewarding your dog for placing a single foot on the designated spot. Gradually increase the criteria by requiring them to move farther onto the spot until their whole body is on it. This incremental approach helps them understand the desired behavior. Use visual cues. Since deaf dogs cannot hear verbal commands, it's important to use visual cues to communicate with them. You can use hand signals or specific gestures to indicate that you want them to settle in the designated spot. Positive reinforcement. Use positive reinforcement techniques, such as treats or praise, to reward your dog for settling in the designated spot. This will motivate them to repeat the behavior in the future. Consistency is key. Be consistent in your training approach and expectations. Use the same visual cues and rewards consistently to help your dog understand what is expected of them. Gradually increase duration. Once your dog is comfortable settling in the designated spot, gradually increase the duration of time they are required to stay there. Start with short periods and gradually extend the time as they become more comfortable and relaxed. Remember, training a deaf dog requires patience, consistency, and clear communication. With time and practice, your dog can learn to settle and relax in their designated spot. Hand signals for dog training. When training a dog, it can be helpful to use hand signals along with verbal cues to communicate your expectations and reinforce desired behaviors. Here are some tips on using hand signals effectively. 1. Choose consistent signals. It's important to decide on hand signals that are clear, easy to remember, and consistent. This will help your dog understand and respond to the signals more effectively. You can use signals from human sign language or create your own. 2. Use one-handed signals. Using one-handed signals is generally recommended so that your other hand is free to give rewards or handle other tasks. This allows for better coordination and clarity in your communication with your dog. 3. Pair signals with behaviors. Start by shaping the desired behavior using rewards. Once your dog is offering the behavior consistently, introduce the hand signal just before the behavior is performed. Reinforce the correct performance of the behavior by immediately rewarding your dog with a treat and a verbal cue. 4. Practice and repetition. Consistent practice and repetition are key to helping your dog associate the hand signals with specific behaviors. Regular training sessions and reinforcement will help your dog become familiar with the signals and respond accordingly. Remember, patience and positive reinforcement are crucial when training your dog. Make sure to keep training sessions short and enjoyable for your dog, and always reward their efforts and progress. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more incredible content like this. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. We love hearing from you. As always, thank you for joining us on this adventure. Stay tuned for more exciting videos coming your way. Until next time, keep communicating, keep training, and keep spreading the love.